to the second episode of my knitting podcast. My name is Kim and I'm an illustrator from the Netherlands who really likes to knit. So today is the second episode. I really hoped that it would be sooner that I would record this, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have an excuse really. Anyway, I do have quite a big pile of projects laying in front of me. So I'm going to show them to you. What am I going to start with? So I have not as many finished Ulti. I have a dog called Ulti and she's quite a lot at the moment. Also, I'm wearing a finished object from last year. It is kind of like my accidental summer knit. This was supposed to be a sweater, but it's on 3mm needles and I just wasn't having it, so I turned it into like a little tee. It is knit with the Knitting for Olive cotton merino. It is kind of perfect to wear it like right now because it is not really hot outside, but it's also not cold, so yeah. Okay, so anyway, my first object is this really beautiful big sweater. It is called the winter's pullover, so it is definitely not the kind of weather for this kind of sweater right now, but I'm so glad it's finished. It's kind of hard to show because it's quite big. Normally I would knit my sweaters quite cropped, but I really just wanted to have like one sweater that was quite like oversized and long and just really cozy and warm, and this is definitely that. As I said, it is called the Winter's Pullover by Ozetta. I've used Let Low Be and Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair held together. It has like a beautiful turtleneck, which I didn't knit before, and it is really oversized. I will try to like add in some try on footage, but yeah, I really love this sweater already. As you may be able to tell, I haven't weaved in my ends yet, but I will do that soon and then I will block it. I keep calling this my camping sweater because I just can't imagine me and my husband going camping and then me sitting around the campfire with this sweater on because it's so warm, and yeah, I cannot wait to wear it. I think I will wear it when it is blocked in the evenings as well, because I have to walk my dog in the evenings and it's always quite cold. So I've said this before, but I do tend to wear my knits like all throughout the year because, you know, I use them as like a coat. And I mean, even though this is quite a thick sweater, I'm not going to like pack away these kind of sweaters for the summer because again, I tend to grab them sometimes for in the evenings and stuff. So yeah, so happy this is finished. I think I knit the size 2 or 3. Normally I would knit like a size 5, I think, like between a 4 and 5, but this is so oversized, like you will be able to see in the try on footage that I will hopefully do, but like I don't know if you're able to tell, but it's, yeah, it's quite big on me, and that's what I wanted for this sweater. Like it has a lot of positive ease, so I went for a little less than was recommended and it fits perfectly. So yeah, I really like this and I'm really happy it's finished because it was getting warmer and at one point it was like over 20 degrees and I was knitting on a sweater and I just didn't really feel like it. So I have to say I was hoping I would have more sweaters finished by now so I can like continue on the summer knits, but that did not happen. But yeah, this one is finished and this one is literally called the Winter's Pullover, so I'm really glad this one is finished. So yeah, that's one. I will forever feel a bit awkward filming myself and talking, but anyway, let's continue. The next thing I have are these socks. So these are just some vanilla socks. I've used this sock yarn called Mr. Barista that I got at Stephen and Penelope. I don't remember the name of the dye yet, but I will link it in the description. But they are So pretty. Look at that. And the last time I've made a podcast, I think I had one sock finished, but not the other. I don't know. I don't actually remember, but I finished both of them by now. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about them. I'm just really happy they are finished. Also, if I'm like sneezing and sniffing, I've got like really bad allergies right now, so bear with me. But yeah, these socks, I don't really know what else to say about them. I just really like. I cannot wait to wear them. I wanted to wait wearing them for the podcast, but now I can wear them. And even though the colors are quite autumnal, I think this is just my color palette, so we'll be fine. And then my last finished object is also a pair of socks, and these are another pair of Sunday socks. So I have had quite a journey with these. Let me fold the cuff a little bit. So basically I finished one for quite some time. They look a bit funny, don't they? I finished one for quite some time, and then a few weeks ago I was like, I'm going to finish the second one as well. But then I came to the realization that I was playing yarn chicken and I was definitely going to lose. So I put them away again because I didn't feel like it. And I was like really hesitant if I should like just continue and then maybe order new yarn, or if I wanted to like rip out a little bit. Or I also feel like this foot is way longer. Hold on. Oh, these are really not perfect. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I was playing yarn chicken and I was losing, so I decided to rip back on the sock I had already finished. But I didn't realize that when you rip back from like the cast on edge, you cannot like just unravel it. You have to like unpick every stitch. Like, I had no clue. So it was definitely a struggle. Also like picking up these stitches, I had no clue what I'm doing. Normally I can like read and like understand my stitches quite well by now, but I had no clue what I was doing. So eventually I managed, and I finished the second sock yesterday, and the first sock as well, because as I said, I unpicked the edge and I had to like cast off again. I still have the ends to weave in. This is like all the yarn I've left, so I do have another like ball of this yarn left. So what I will do is like count these rows and then do the same on each sock, so I know I will have enough yarn. But yeah, I do really like these Sunday socks. I think I knit the size, I don't know, like the size for 38, and I did use quite a smaller needle. I've used a needle, I think 3.25. Normally they are knit on a needle size 4, I think 4mm. But I've made them before and they are so big, like they are absolutely massive. And I still think this looks kind of massive, but we'll see. I did try them on and they are fitting really well. So I decided to just knit the same size, but then on like a smaller needle size. And yeah, the gauge is a lot tighter, but that's what I wanted. So I'm really curious to see how these will hold up, because they are knit a lot tighter, because the other ones I have are pilling quite bad. But yeah, I'm honestly really happy that I finally finished these, because they were getting on my nerves so bad because I was losing yarn chicken, and I don't lose yarn chicken often. So yeah, at least they're finished. So I had quite the cast-on party. I really don't know where to start. I'm going to start with the project that I was already working on in the last episode. And these are these also vanilla socks. So I finished one, and this is made with the alpaca yarn, sock yarn by Long Yarns. I think it's called like super socks or something, but these are so incredibly soft. So this is just my basic sock recipe, like twisted rib on the cuff, and then I do a double folded cuff. I do a shadow wrap heel, and just like the standard toe, I think. I don't know what it's called, but it's just like the decreases on both sides evenly. So yeah, I'm really glad that I finally managed to finish one sock of this one. And then I cast on my second sock. I'm knitting these on a 2mm size needle, which is even smaller than I would normally knit these socks on, but the yarn is quite thin, and it's also because it's alpaca, it is like really soft and it peels really bad, so I want to knit these on like a tighter gauge. So yeah, I don't know, like it's just another basic vanilla sock, but I really do like knitting them as well as wearing them. So yeah, that's another project. So I'm flying through these actually. Next thing I'm going to talk about, let me see. Okay, in my last knitting episode I was talking about that I really wanted to cast on something new. Also, by the way, quick side note, but I'm kind of like growing out my fringe, and I don't know how that's going, but I'm really getting used to it. I don't know, I just cannot handle having a fringe in the summer, so I'm kind of growing it out. I still want them to be like sort of like curtain bangs, but I don't want them to be like a proper fringe. So I'm growing them out. I'm not really friends with them right now because they're annoying. They bleep out of me. But if you're wondering what's going on with my hair, that's what's going on. Anyway, I had cast on a sweater and I did finish the yoke. So I was like, why is it feeling cold? But I actually saw a moth flying out of this project bag, so I put it in the freezer right away, and I think it's fine. Oh, moths scare me so much. Anyway, I cast on another no-frill sweater. I have made this sweater so many times already, but it's just my favorite. I love wearing it, and I do kind of like my own small like modifications on them, so they look kind of different. So on this one I did the 2x2 rib instead of 1x1, and I also do 2 raglan stitches instead of 1. And as you can see, I split for the sleeves, I finished the yoke, and yeah, I actually really want to continue this now, because this was kind of put on hold because I did cast on a few different other things. But yeah, this is knit on a 4mm needle, and I'm using yarn from Fiber Tales. She has like a little yarn sale like once or twice a year, and it's from the flock of sheep that her parents have, and she like picks up the yarn and like gets it spun, and it's all very local and sustainable. And I bought some yarn from her like 2 years ago, I think. It is a fingering weight and I'm holding it double. I have the cake right here. It is stunning. It is like cotton yarn, so it is the sheep with all these like little curls, and it's almost like it has mohair in it. It doesn't, but I don't know, I cannot really explain it, but you have to see it in real life, I think. But it's like really, the staples of the fiber are like really long, so again it looks like it has mohair in it, which I do really like. So yeah, this sweater, I don't have like a basic grey sweater yet, so I'm really excited for this to be finished because it goes with so many clothing items I own. So I really want to finish this now. I kind of forgot about it, I have to be honest. I just got this out of the freezer and it was in there for like a few weeks. But yeah, I'm really determined to finish this right now before like the actual summer starts, because tomorrow it's going to be like 14 degrees, which is quite cold. Like I can wear a sweater with 14 degrees. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, I did split for the sleeves. The next thing I'm going to do is continue on the sleeves, I think. And then I will finish the body. I don't have to play yarn chicken with this though, because sometimes I do start with the sleeves because I'm afraid I will run out of yarn. Not this time. But I don't know, I just really like finishing the sleeves first, and then when you finish the body, this sweater is actually finished. So, and I really like this kind of color of grey. It's so stunning. Yeah, I'm really excited to finish this. So I might work on this tonight when I finish work. Okay, the next thing is another sweater that I started. When in my last episode I said that I wanted to cast on a new sweater, I was like hesitant between this one and the previous one, like yarn wise. And then I ended up casting on the previous sweater I showed you, but I still wanted to do a Colorwork sweater, so I did. And this is the Kintra sweater by Rebecca Claw, or the Grey Bear. And it is, you use like all of these different kind of like scraps that you have. It's kind of like rolling up, so. And when I just started knitting, I bought like a lot of yarn, but I didn't really know what I was buying yarn for, so I would like just like buy 1 or 2 balls of like different colors, and I didn't really know what to do with them. So I decided to use them in this sweater, and these are just my colors, are they? I'm in love with this color palette. I love it so much. Anyway, I've made a big mistake with this sweater, and I don't think you were able to tell right now, but I was knitting the whole Colorwork part, and when I was right about like here, like almost finished, I realized that I didn't switch needles between like the ribbing and then the sweater itself. So instead of knitting it on the 4mm needle, I knitted on like 325. And I was not going to rib back, like absolutely not. I did try it on and it does fit. So like I do knit all my sweaters quite oversized. So I decided to just continue with the raglan on, like I started with my like right side needle, like 4mm needle when the Colorwork was done, because I didn't want there to be like a difference in between like stitches in the Colorwork. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start with my 4mm needle once the Colorwork is done, and I did that. And now I'm just going to continue with like the raglan increases, which you can see over here. I'm now at the point where I should split for sleeves, but I don't know if you can tell, but I don't think I have enough stitches to split for sleeves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another raglan pattern, and I'm going to do the raglan increases and stitches for my size until I'm pretty sure it will fit. I will also like measure with some raglan sweaters that I did, so I can like compare them. So it isn't the worst thing. Like I do think the Colorwork is like a lot shorter than the original pattern, or like the sample, but I don't really mind. Like if you don't know, this is just the way the sweater looks, you know. I have to say that I wasn't really motivated to continue on this sweater when I found out, but now that I see it again, I'm like, yeah, it looks fine. It does look a little tight, but it still has like quite a lot of stretch in it. So even though the gauge is quite like tight, it doesn't look too bad. I actually kind of like the way it looks. So yeah, I don't know when I will split for sleeves. I'm kind of done doing the raglan though. I really want to split for sleeves and just continue with the body and the sleeves. Also because this would be great like more easier to knit, because it's just like one color, one ball of yarn. Okay, my camera did cut off for a little bit, but I think we're fine. So yeah, my kintra sweater. And also this is quite winter-ish because of my color choices, but also it's like a white sweater, so I might be able to wear this in the evenings and when it gets colder. And I'm using the West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab in the colour white. I got this when I was in London and Brighton last year. It's like a DK weight yarn, and I didn't really know what to do with them because I have 4 balls I think, but I didn't want to make like a white sweater because I've just done like a white sweater, so I didn't really know what to use it for. And then I was thinking about this sweater and I decided to use it for this one. So yeah, that's that. What else are we going to talk about now? Okay, I'm going to talk about this one. Also, I recently got this project bag. It's by Cardigan. This was my little birthday cast on. Oh, I dropped stitches. Hold on. I've just like finished the heel. Okay, so these are the quilty given socks, which I really like. I've been obsessed with quilting, but I will talk a bit more about that later in this video. I just finished doing the heel and I'm going to continue on the foot now. And yeah, this is actually yarn that I dyed myself. I went to like a knitting festival like a few years ago, I think like 2 years ago, and I did buy some supplies to dye my own yarn, and I made this color. It is quite solid, but it still does have like some variation going on, which you cannot really tell, I think. I don't know if you can tell in the sock. It is, again, it is quite solid, but it still has like some darker and lighter parts, which I do really like. So yeah, I actually cast this on my birthday. And we went to a theme park on my birthday, me and my husband. And I was actually knitting this in the waiting lines of the like rides we were going to go into, and I managed to get quite some knitting done. So I did knit the bigger size because I'm always afraid that I won't be able to get it over my heel, which happened like one time in my first Colorwork sock that I did with like 3 colors. So I'm always scared that it will happen again, but yeah, I just really like this one. Yeah, always having socks on the needles. Okay, then we have the gift knit. Actually, I know my friend will know it's for her because she actually picked out this color herself. So if you want to see your present, keep watching, but if you want it to be a surprise, as far as it can be a surprise, then look away. But I am knitting her a cardigan. Hold on. Why is it stuck in the bag? And I did this in like a few days and then I stopped. But I am quite far actually. Like I did split for the sleeves already. And this is the cardigan number 7, I think. I mean, it's quite hard to show because it doesn't really have a lot of shape to it. But yeah, I do really like this color. It is like a brownish beige, I think. Like, I thought it was yellow, but it's not really yellow actually. It is more like a brownish color, like a light brown. And I really do like this color. The yarn, it's not a yarn I would pick myself, but the friend I'm knitting it for doesn't really like the feeling of wool. And I've knit one thing for her before in the same yarn, and it does actually help quite well, but all Dutchies know Zeeman. It is like a Dutch store that has a lot of really affordable things, and it also has quite a big yarn selection, and these are only like, I think like $2.50 or something for one ball of yarn. So I made a whole cardigan for like $12.50 or something, which is crazy. It is an acrylic mix, hence why it's so cheap, but it is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Again, I wouldn't knit this for myself, but it is for a friend, and it does feel very soft and it does help quite well. She's also someone that does take care of her clothes like really well, so I know that when it starts to peel, she will like shave it and stuff, so it will get a really good home. She picks out the color herself and she knows what kind of pattern I'm knitting, so it isn't really a surprise, so hence why I'm showing it already. Yeah, I'm really excited to finish this. I might continue on this today actually, because now that I'm seeing it again, I'm quite excited about it. It is going really quickly because it is on needle size 7. I actually didn't own needle size 7 before knitting this cardigan, even though I've knit this cardigan 2 times already, but it was when I started knitting. It was one of my first projects, so how I did that without having the exact needle size, I don't know, but yeah, I did buy the needles especially for this project, and these are like the ginger twist needles. They are so pretty, like I kind of want to buy the whole set now, but I'm not allowing myself to. But yeah, this is the cardigan number 7, and I'm actually really excited to finish this. Again, it goes by so quickly because it's on needle size 7. And also, I thought I would like hate it more to knit with acrylics, but it's not that bad actually. I mean, it isn't my favorite, but it goes by really quickly, so we're fine. And it is really soft to touch. It doesn't feel like too plasticky, if that makes sense. I mean, it still has like 20% wool in it, so yeah. So yeah, again, I'm really excited to finish this. Also, my ball of yarn looks like this because Ottie got hold of the ball of yarn and she like unraveled the whole thing, and I spent like 3 hours untangling it, but I did it. Also, knitting this cardigan makes me want to knit the cardigan number 7 as well. So if you have any yarn recommendations for this one, then please let me know, because I really want to knit more cardigans. All the cardigans I have like so oversized that I kind of wish I knit them in a smaller size, but what can you do? Anyway, the last project, my last knitting project I have been working on is in this really stunning project bag. This is a project bag that my friend made me as a birthday present, and I am the biggest fan of Beatrix Potter, and this is Peter Rabbit knitting a sock. Amazing, right? Like, oh, I love using this bag. I cast on my first summer knit. Again, I don't really count this one as like a summer knit. I mean, it is, but it wasn't intentional. Like, it is like an accidental summer knit. This one isn't. This is the Brighton tee, and it isn't going by too quickly because it is on 3mm needles, but I am so excited for this. I I have to say that I wasn't always too keen on summer knitting because I mostly wear dresses, as you can see, but that doesn't mean that I can wear like t-shirts, because I do also have like a lot of dresses that I can combine with tees and like blouses and stuff. So yeah, I really wanted to knit a summer top, and I did buy this yarn last year, I think. Oh, this is the front, by the way. I did buy this yarn last year, but I think it was like kind of at the end of the summer, so I didn't want to start a summer top at the end of the summer, because I know when it would be finished, it would be in the autumn already, and that didn't really motivate me. But now that it's spring, I'm all about summer knitting. I also have some other yarn for a summer top that I also really want to make. I think it's called the Ida Tee by Petite. I really love how that's looking, and I was really hesitant if I should cast on this one at first or like the other one, the Ida Tee, but I chose to knit this one first because it feels a little bit easier, even though I've never knit stripes before. And I don't know if you can tell, but the first row in the stripe is a different color than like the second and third one. It is a really small difference because honestly I didn't read the pattern correctly and I thought I just needed one color for the stripe. But I did have some yarn laying around that I could use, so I used that. And I do really like the way it looks. The only thing I'm not really happy with is the raglan increase. I don't know if you can tell, but in my eyes it looks quite messy, and as being a perfectionist, this is hard. Like, I kind of want to change it, but you have to change yarn in like the raglan stitch is the first stitch of like a round, so you have to change colors in between the raglan stitches. If I would knit this pattern again, which I might, I think I would change like the beginning of round, just like in between, just like in the middle of the back or something, because yeah, it's not really a look I'm loving. And also like the ends you have to weave in, they are like the beginning of a raglan stitch, so you have to like really pull them and then weave them in order for it to like look a little bit neat, because right now, as you can see, these are all like really loose, and over here I did weave them in, but as you can see, these ones are not woven in and it shows. So yeah, but besides that, I'm really loving the pattern. And I mean, maybe it's something that I'm doing wrong or that I'm not getting the hang of yet, because again, I never knit stripes, so I don't know. But overall, I'm really loving how this top is looking, and I'm so excited to continue on this. And I have to say, it does go by quite quickly, even though it is on needle size 3mm. I also really like this stripe that is like coming out of nowhere because of the German short rows. Yeah, I'm excited to finish this, and I think once you split for sleeves, it goes by really quickly. Also because the sleeves, you have to knit them, don't have to be like bracelet length or something. I think the length of the sleeves are the same one than the tee I'm wearing right now. So yeah, I really like this one and I'm excited to continue. Also, I know that Inga from Knitting Traditions always says that knitting stripes is so addictive, and I really do get it now. Like, I think the first evening I started working on the stripes, I went to bed at like 3 AM because I just couldn't stop. So knitting stripes is definitely addictive. Yeah. I also felt like I had way more projects than I have at the moment, but it's not that bad. Okay, nice. Oh, let me clean this up. Okay, so I have a few things more. I have one really exciting thing I have been working on, and that is my quilt. I have been wanting to make a quilt for absolutely ages, but I don't know why, but my sewing machine kind of scares me. I don't know, it's just always in my head a hassle to like set up, and often like things go wrong and I get like really frustrated. So I really have to take like my time for my sewing machine in order to like have fun. It's not the same as knitting for me, even though I really want it to be. But I don't know, you could also hand quilt. So I am working on a quilt with this technique called English paper piecing, and I have been making all of these flowers. And so this fabric is by Liberty in London, and I got this at John Lewis, also in London, I think. And fun fact, this I got on a trip where we actually got engaged, so that's really fun. And then this fabric, like the gingham, I got when we got married and we went on a honeymoon in Scotland. So it is like a marriage quilt. And I have been making quite a few flowers already. So I don't really know like how I'm going to turn them into a quilt, or if I'm going to turn them into like a proper like quilt. I can also make like a project bag out of them, which also will be cute, I think. I don't have that much fabric. Let me show you. This is all I have left. I do have quite some like hexagons cut out and like stuck on the papers already. But I don't know if I have enough to make like a whole quilt. So to be quite honest, I don't really know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I will make something out of them and I'm really excited. So yeah, yeah, I just wanted to show that it's really bad. I don't know, I really like the way this looks. And at the back it looks like this. I did take the paper out of this one because it is like surrounded by other hexagons, so I could take the paper out. And like once this one is surrounded by hexagons, I can take those papers out as well. So yeah, it's like a really calming thing to do. I also went to my parents' house this weekend just to like work on my crafts, and I made like 5 flowers when I was there or something. It would take me quite a long time to do, but yeah, I don't know, I just like these slow kind of crafts a lot actually. So I have like 11 flowers by now, and I think if I decide to turn them into like an actual quilt, like you lay on a bed or something, that I will, instead of like just putting like one hexagon in between them, I'm going to basically put like a whole flower in between them, but then do these ones in a solid color and then just one contrast color in the middle, and then have like a hexagon again, like a flower, like this one. So I can make a bigger quilt with like the ones I have, because I have no idea how many I will end up making out of the fabric I have. So yeah, that's that. And it's just, this is just so addicting to me. I'm also working on, hold on. Okay, something else, but a while ago I made all of these project bags that I wanted to sell in my Etsy shop. and I wanted to embroider them, but then I came to the realization that embroidering them takes so long, and I will have to ask like an insane amount of money for them. So they have been laying in my drawer with like stuff for quite a while, and now that I started this, I decided to do little stars, like little English paper piecing stars. I have to like still fold these ones, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to place them, or like sew them, onto the project bag. Hold on, let me make sense of it. Like something like this. And I honestly think that looks so cute. So this is something I'm working on and hopefully will be in my shop within a few weeks. I made this one last night. This is what the back is looking like. I definitely do like just gluing my fabric to the paper pieces, but because I have to kind of like take the pieces out before sewing it down on the back, I want to do it with thread like I did with this one, and then obviously with all the ones, and then I can take the paper out. So yeah, that's also something I'm working on. I just really like doing all of these like different projects because I just cannot focus on one thing for the life of me. I don't know, I just get bored really easily, and I need that like excitement of a new project. And I mean, like casting on new things really does it for me, but sometimes I just need something else. Oh, this is just, it's going to look so cute. Also, this is where I keep like all of my hexagons in. It's like a little 9-inch pencil case. This is one I'm working on. And then I have all of these really small hexagons ready to be sewn. So yeah, really exciting. So the last thing I want to show you is our positions, and I have to say that I am at a point where I'm quite overwhelmed with my stash, my yarn stash. I don't want to say I'm like doing a yarn buying ban, but I don't want to buy any more yarn, even though I kind of did, but technically it will help me like using my stash. So I have like 3 things that I bought. The first thing, and I keep this in this plastic bag. There was this yarn store near my hometown that had like really beautiful brands, but she stopped doing like the physical store. And then she had like a sale going on the Instagram, and I think I got like 2 sweater quantities of mohair, and I paid like 50 euros for them. So it was a really good deal, and it just felt stupid not doing it. First I picked up this collar, and I actually did a sweater in this yarn with like the Knitting for Olive merino as well. I do have some fingering merino yarn similar to this color, and I just don't know what to do with it. Like, I thought about selling it, but it's a color that I do really like, but it's fingering and I didn't really want to buy mohair with it. But then I saw this one and it was on sale, and it just felt like the perfect moment. So I'm actually really excited to knit up a cardigan with it. And I will save this for when the autumn starts, because it is not really a summer-ish color, even though I don't really mind. Like, I will use my autumnal colors in summer all the time, but I'm going to keep this for the autumn. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. And then the same goes for this one. I think I have like 4 skeins of the West Yorkshire Spinners DK weight yarn in like a bottle green color. And then she posted this color and I was obsessed. And you know, I will always prefer sweaters with mohair in them. Like, for one reason being that it's just really soft and it feels like really luxurious, but also because the sweaters will hold up so much better when there's mohair in them. Like, they don't feel as bad, they don't felt as bad. So again, for like 10 balls of mohair I paid around like 50, I think. So I just couldn't let this go, and I got 4 balls of this. So I don't want to buy like any more wool yarn because I really do have quite a lot, but again, this will help me knit up the wool that I have. So yeah, I had to buy it. But besides that, I'm actually doing quite well with the whole no yarn buying thing. I was in this really beautiful yarn store on Monday and I really saw some beautiful skeins of yarn, like hand-dyed yarn, and I didn't buy it, so I was really proud of myself. One thing that I did buy, but it's something that I don't have yet and I'm allowing myself to buy. It is this, I actually don't know how to pronounce this, and it is a cotton and linen mix for another summer top. And I really like this color, and I also really like the way it feels. It is linen and cotton. I think it's like 50-50. Yeah, well, 53% cotton and 47% linen, so almost 50-50. But I cannot wait to knit another summer top in this yarn, and it is on 5mm needles, so it will go by quite quickly as well. I am thinking about knitting the poppy tee by Petite Knit, but maybe I will have a look if there's like another designer with a similar pattern, because the poppy tee isn't on a 5mm needle, I think, and I kind of don't want to risk it knitting it like way too big or small, and I don't want to change like needle sizes to hit gauge or something. I don't know, I just really don't feel like doing that. So but yeah, I'm really excited about this color. Yeah, like knitting summer tops is quite new to me. I always thought that it wasn't for me and I really didn't get summer knitting, but look at me now. I'm really excited to cast this on. So if I finish my other summer top soon, or maybe if I finish a sweater, then I think I'm going to cast on something with this yarn. So yeah, that is that. Okay, so I think that's everything that I had to say. I'm probably forgetting a few things, but I always feel like I'm going by quite quickly. Sometimes I watch these knitting podcasts and they're like an hour long or longer, and they're talking about like 3 things. Making my way through my project, that I'm always like going so quickly, and I don't want to do that. But I don't know. But sometimes I just run out of things to say about certain things. So I hope you don't mind. And I really do hope you enjoyed watching this second episode of my knitting podcast. I still feel really nervous talking about the camera. I've said this before, but nothing makes me more self-conscious than like filming myself while talking. Not my favorite thing, but it's something that I want to do so badly, so I just have to get over it. Basically. Yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye! Mijn poedeltje. Kom maar hoor.